Hey everybody, Edo here, and it is that time of year, top 10 lists, the top 10 Kickstarters that I reviewed this year. If you're not familiar with my top 10 lists, I do them based on the actual games that I did Kickstarter previews for. So I might have backed it, I might not have. It may or may not have come out this year. You know, I may have played other ones, but these are the games that I have videos for. I'll link them below. You can see the full preview to learn more about the games, but that's how I break it down from 2021. So let's dive right in. So in the number 10 spot is the Blue Collection. This is by Little Rocket Games, and this is a Kickstarter of 3 small profile games. One is called Insert Coin to Play, which was a flip and write, where you're doing sort of, they all had pixel art, but like little pixel characters, and you were using the flipped cards to do different forms and fill it in to create your forms, which was a fun family game. There was One Card Dungeon, which is a solo dungeon crawl where you're just doing some dice play to like move in this little space and fight enemies, which was neat. And then Cyber Doom Tower, which was small set of cards, but a big tableau that gets built out, and sort of dice manipulation as you're trying to beat the different floors and work your way up. Overall, it's just a nice little set of games I got a kick out of. So that's number 10, the Blue Collection. Next up, we have Synchronized by Zorua Games. I'm not, generally speaking, a huge fan of memorization games, but I appreciated how this one was different and effective. It's synchronized swim, and so players would both have the same set of swimmers with some cool art, but in all different positions, and you deal out a set. You basically have to look and memorize it, then you pick up your cards, and then you take your deck and you start drawing cards to remember and play out what was previously set up, like what your previous I don't know what they're called, but run the different people who were going to be swimming, what position they were going to be in. And based on the cards you have and other conditions that can come into play, it was actually pretty challenging because they were similar but different cards. Light, quick, small. It did fund, and it was real novel theme and novel take on memorization. So I got a kick out of it. In the number 8 spot, we have the Big Pig Game. This is by Evans Games, their second Kickstarter. The first was like Fun Party in Maple Valley or something like that, or Maple Valley rather. And this one didn't fund, unfortunately, but I got a big kick out of it. You're playing a bunch of animals. Your owner has left, and you just want to eat. And you have these weird boards that have like a pancake or a salad or whatever, and numbers on them. And then you have your different animals, and it's a cooperative game where you're using action selection, a nice mechanic where you're like pulling off tokens to like use up your actions. And you're trying to like build up hunger to eat parts, to help each other out, to eat and eat and eat. And it worked. It was fun. It was very, very unique play, much like the first game. And I understand they're going to come back to Kickstarter, and I hope it succeeds because it was different and fun. In the number 7 spot, this is easily the biggest Kickstarter of all that I reviewed. And actually, if you're not, if you've watched my channel for the years, I used to be more in the mix with the bigger Kickstarters, but perhaps my audience isn't big enough, or I'm not doing pay. I don't know, but I also tend to just give it straight, and I don't do just always flowery previews, so I guess there's a little risk in sending it to Ed. But I don't get as many big ones as much anymore. I get a lot of these small, interesting ones, which I enjoy as well. But Flamecraft, Cardboard Academy, absolutely massive, millions, $2-3 million campaign, 30,000 backers, that kind of number. And this is this gorgeous, fantastic dragon placement game. It's got, I wasn't a huge fan of the rollout board, but had the rollout mat, and then you are using dragons to collect resources at special spots, and then use those resources to craft and improve. And the artwork is, as far as I'm concerned, best of the year. And just so delightful, so much beauty and fun, and just everything about it was fantastic. And, miniature dragons and like really custom meeples, and the game's rock solid. Not the best game of all time, but combination of rock solid game, easy to play, easy to teach, and gorgeous components. It just works. Definitely going to be a huge hit next year and on a lot of top lists. In the number 6 spot, we have Gifts of Tulip. This is by Weird Giraffe Games. And actually, this is one of those games where I'm like, this is sort of a game that Pencil First could have published. Beautiful look to it. I really like the card backs and the competition cards. The flowers are pretty true. The tulips are pretty, but I actually love they have this like blue and white sort of porcelain cards that are gorgeous. But basically, super simple. You're drawing a card and you're deciding whether you want to give it to. I think it might have been 2 cards. I don't remember exactly, but basically the decision is: do I keep it for myself to give me majorities for different types of tulips? Do I give it to a friend, which means they get it for their majority, but I get some instant points? Or do I use it to manipulate the market to say which tulips are in favor and how many points they're going to get? And so you're like, build up majority, manipulate point scoring, or give to somebody else, affecting the majorities. Easy to learn, plays quick. Definitely enjoyed it. I think you might have drawn 2 cards and put. I forget. But you have cards in your hand, and those 3 decisions are always interesting. And it was competitive. I really enjoyed it. And very, very pretty. That I really like that porcelain. It wasn't porcelain, but it was like this white and blue, really pretty cards. In the number 5 spot is Bar Fight by Bakal Games. This was pretty straightforward. It was a hand management and recipe game where you are like you have different spirits in your hand, like whiskey or vodka or whatever, and different components you'd add with it in order to create drinks and fulfill recipes. You represented a bar, and different bars had different specialties, which were like their bar drink, like their like house drink that you get bonus points for. What I really liked, and it's called Bar Fight because you can get some action cards to affect the other bars and the other bartenders, but like, I thought that was a terrible name, really. But what I liked about this game a lot is you have your hand, and as you use your cards, the fight cards or the action cards, the spirit cards, the like sort of spice cards were all in different piles, and you sort of use cards and then draw back into your hand, but you get to pick which pile it comes from. I really liked that mechanic. I really liked sort of the hand management, but being able to decide what type of card, and based on that, then decide what I was going to do. I don't know if it's never been done before, but it stood out to me, and I enjoyed it. And so did the people I played with. So that was number 5. Coming in at we're going through this. Coming in at number 4 is Micro Dojo, and this is by Prometheus Game Lab. This was like $3-4 card game. It was sort of like a postcard game, a little bigger with some punch, and you got it in like an envelope. And it's 2-player head-to-head game, small space. You're moving around these 4 meeples, and in doing that, you're getting coins, money, and action points, and then you can buy buildings. Just a very tight, small 2-player game with nice tactical play. And the art direction was really nice for such a small title, and I got a kick out of it. I was impressed, and I hope Prometheus Game Lab does a bunch more of them. I thought it was cool. Okay, coming in at number 3, the other mega game on the list, though I wasn't sure, so I went back and I checked, did not do as well as Flamecraft. Flamecraft was 2.5 million or whatever. This was 250,000, so, but still like 10,000 backers, like still awesome. And this was Hidden Leaders by BFF Games, made by 2 BFFs. And so this game is like a tableau influence building game where you have, there's this, in the middle of play, this sort of influence board where there's some different markers being moved around by the players, and based on their positioning, there's a red, blue, green, and black factions, and they can sort of have favor for end game scoring. So there's this manipulation of this track, and then on your end, you're building you're playing cards that like allow you to draw more cards, manipulate cards, and build up your color factions. And different players are looking for different factions to win and sort of their hidden leaders. So, you have manipulating your tableau, using stuff in your tableau to manipulate other tableaus, and that's sort of Magic the Gathering, Guillotine, maybe even, not Lost Cities, what's the other one called? Citadels type of play, going on where things are moving back and forth and you're like almost going to win and not going to win. Actually, interestingly, I guess it's very similar to Gifts of Tulips. Like in reality, if you like actually break it down, they're remarkably similar games. One's like the light family weight easy entry version and the other's the gamer version. But if you folks haven't played each other's games, you should check it out. And actually, I guess many folks haven't played these games because they were Kickstarters. Coming in at, but great game, and most of these actually haven't delivered yet. Coming in, but will next year. Coming in the number 2 spot, this is another title that did not fund. It's called Paleovet by Absurdist Productions. And this was a pretty straightforward dice manipulation game. There's a bunch of dinosaurs, and you have to like take them from the field and bring them back and heal them up. And you heal them up with using dice, and as you heal up different dinosaurs, it gives you different bonuses and give you, it's like a dice engine building game where you're building up your dice of different types, and those help you roll to help to go after certain types of dinosaurs. Also, like if you brought a carnivore dinosaur back to your, like a T-Rex back to your med lab, like it might start eating the other dinosaurs. I don't know. This is one of those games where it came in with like so low expectations and just enjoyed it and had fun and wanted to play more. And it sticks out in my memory. One of the real pleasures of doing the Kickstarter previews, especially with these sort of independent, small, limited run type games, is you just get, it doesn't have all the hype. It doesn't have all of the expectations, and you get to try some interesting and novel ideas, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they're not going to fund. But I think it's cool. Okay, so coming in the top spot for 2021 is Doom Machine. This is a small tin solo game. It's by Nathan Munier. Doesn't have a company name. Not sure. He's done a number of Kickstarters. I've liked a lot of the designs. But again, with Doom Machine, it's basically like 16 Doom cards that just get stacked out, and then each one gets put out, like, I forget how many, but in a row, and then you have the stack of the remaining. So like, let's say 3, and then the stack. And then you have a bunch of little manipulation dice, and you're going to roll some dice, and you're using dice to take out different Doom Machine components. And what you're trying to do is get through all the components before the Doom clock ends and get to the end machine. And it's a pretty tough. You're getting a random order of cards, but they're pretty tough. And as you complete cards, they give you bonuses for other cards. So you got to think about which and how you manipulate them. The art direction's fantastic. I mean, it's like 16 cards, but it's got a really cool look. It's like small and evocative. And when I was going through the list, looking at all my Kickstarters, it's just the one that stood out to me. I think it's great. I think they did an awesome job. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a small form factor, Cthulhu-esque Doom, end of the world, little short, fast, interesting play soul game. I really liked it for that regard. It wasn't convoluted. I dug it. So anyway, that's my top 10 Kickstarters. The reviews are all available, or previews rather, so if you want to learn more and like actually, see some of the specifics. But, it's been a lot of fun this year playing these games, and I look forward to getting copies down the road. And for the ones that didn't fund, I actually hope they do. So if you see them come up again, give them, check them out. All right. Thanks. Bye. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.